Are you excited about this upcoming season and making it your best year ever? Still not sure where to start with knowing your numbers and running a predictably profitable business? We want to introduce you to a brand new resource called the Know Your Numbers Profitability and Pricing Calculator, available exclusively at the L'Entrepreneur Academy. We're here to help you understand how to recover your overhead, calculate your man-hour rate, price lawns correctly, budget a profitable margin, and so much more. You deserve to have the best information that you can to help you build your business and run it as profitably as possible. Get a handle on knowing your numbers today with the Profitability and Pricing Calculator, exclusively available at L'EntrepreneurAcademy.com. Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I am so excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new solo episode. What is that? That's craziness. 2 solo episodes in 1 week. What is going on? Well, I'll tell you what, spring rush is going on. And we talked about this on Wednesday's show, but it's hard to set up interviews this time of year. And everybody's busy. And so especially now that I'm back out in the field, I'm working pretty much all day now. At nighttime, it's family time. And so other families, for other people as well, it's their family time. So just hard to wiggle them in here and fit them into the schedule. But we're going to work on getting some more guest interviews here for you. I know we have some good ones coming next week, and we cannot wait for that. But today's show, Friday show, Fun Friday, Deep Friday. You know, I normally say we're going to have a Fun Friday show, and then I end up doing something super deep. Like I get into some topic that I'm passionate about, and I end up going on that rant for 30 minutes or something, and that just is the show. But this week, it's going to be kind of deep, kind of not too deep. But I want to hop into something, at least our starting topic. So if you listen to our shows very often, you know that I'll start with something and then I'll end up just going into 10 or 15 different other topics just because I get rolling, my brain gets going, and then I'm like, oh man, there's this and this and this to talk about. But anyway, what I want to start with today, we're just going to hop right in, and I want to say thank you to Brian Fullerton and L'Entrepreneur Academy for partnering with us and helping the show go out on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And so go check out L'Entrepreneur Academy. There's some great resources there that can really change your business. You've heard the spiel before. I'm not going to sit here and go through all that again. I'm a proud, big supporter, big fan, support him even if he wasn't sponsoring the show today, just because I've gotten stuff off that website that I've used, and I know that you can grow and benefit from it as well. So please, please, please click the show notes, go check that out. Change your business this year just by adding some forms or some contracts or whatever there is there that you can use, and some video resources, whatever you can take away and use there, please do so. But anyway, let's hop into the show. So you saw the title of the show, and it's pretty simple. It could be maybe confusing, but it just says grow with no. And what does grow with no mean? So spring rush is going hot and heavy right now in the South, and calls are coming in left and right all day long. And one thing that I have had to work on this year is, one, vet my calls better. Vet my customers better. And so this thing is wild and crazy right now. Phones are lighting it up. And I know it's going to be that way for you as well if you're not in spring rush yet. But if you are, you know what I mean. So it's all the more important that we actually stay on top of vetting our customers. We talked about that on Wednesday's show. I highly encourage you to go back and listen to that show. Just talking about don't let leads fall through the cracks, but you want to vet them the right way. That was a really beneficial show, I believe, that we put out on Wednesday. Just really heartfelt, like stuff that I'm trying to work on in my business, things that I know can change your business if you really hammer down and do them. So I really encourage you to go listen to that show. But so in the vetting process, you have to learn to say no. And you have to learn to say no early on in your business. And we've probably done a show on this before in the past. I don't know, but there's a lot of new people here hanging out with us that probably haven't gone back and listened to that episode. If you have, well, thanks for tuning in. You can tune out if you want to. I don't really know what to say other than Well, that's what we're going to get into today, because I have personally grown my business by saying no. And so what does no mean to you? Does no mean like I'm not going to bring on any more customers in my business, period? I'm not going to bring them on in new service areas. I'm not going to bring them on for anything less than this dollar amount. There's a lot of different ways and areas you can take the word no and imply that into your company. In my business, in our business here in Birmingham, the route density is something that we're focusing on like crazy. It's something that we've focused on the past 2 years, and I truly believe we are where we're at today because of learning to say no. So I started my business about 30 minutes away from where I live currently and where we're based out of. And I had a customer basis that was built up there, out in that county at least. I had a pretty good, I probably had 25 maybe in that local city that I was in. And then I also had another probably 20 to 30 on outliers of that city, out the other direction, further north. And so when we made the move to where we're at now in Trussville, then I knew that I had to make some changes. I operated for one summer. I kept that route the same from early on where I started from, because it was just, we were at a point where we were newly married. We were just trying to figure out how to live together. Like, life was just going crazy. And I didn't want to make any big changes at that point. Going back, I should have done it sooner, because that was a summer of a lot of profit that I lost. But it is what it is. And so I operated with that route the same way that it was. I did a lot of those customers, and I didn't really drop anybody. So there were times we were driving 40 minutes one way to get to a yard. Now, we weren't doing 1 yard out there. We did have a whole route up there. We had 8 or 10 on that day out there, and they were bigger properties. But it's just a matter of fact that we were 45 minutes from home, 50 minutes at some points. So that was not something that I wanted to continue to do. And I did it. It cash flowed, okay? We did a show, Cash Flow Kills. Cash flow is good. You have to have business, but it can also kill it. That summer, cash flow was good. We cash flowed a lot, but we didn't hold on to any profit the way we should have. We made money, but not enough money. And so I realized that, and I was like, something's got to change here. And so I went into the next year. So that was 2021. We operated that summer of 2020. 2021, we started making the shift, and we canceled our furthest outliers. And that was something that it was a big step. It was that was the first big like no in my business, that we set out and we set on this journey of we're only going to take on certain customers in this service area. We shrunk our service area big time. We cut out the outliers. That was when we started raising prices. And so we raised prices on everybody. We told people no, and we actually made more money that year than we did the year before with doing less work because we raised prices. Fast forward to 2022, and that was last summer. Last summer, we had canceled everybody from that route for the most part. We held on to like 3 or 4 or 5 that we just make one little quick route. We're in and out of there in 3 or 4 hours, and it's like 15 minutes from where we're at now. So not out of the way too much at all. We have other stuff in that area. We have a big commercial lot in that area, so we can always hit those when we do that if need be. So we kept those, and that was the way that we attacked 2022. Now, with that being said, that took some guts, I guess you could say. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to say, hey, let's cancel customers. Like, that doesn't sound fun. No one wants to do that, and I didn't really either. But at the same time, I knew that if I kept doing what I was doing and expecting different results, then that would be what? The definition of insanity. That's what it is. The definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. It's not going to happen. So I knew that if I kept doing that, then the results weren't going to change. I wasn't going to make more money. And I had to realize, and I had to come home and sit down and say, okay, we have to figure this out. We have to cancel these yards. We have to turn down customers in this area to make money. Money is what we want to make. We don't want to just cash flow money. We want to make money. We want to keep money. And so that's what we did. 22, we canceled literally everybody on that route, like I said, except those 4 or 5. And needless to say, we made more money than we ever have because of that. I think is a huge factor, because we didn't have a ton of unnecessary drive time. We were pretty efficient. We had all of our routes are pretty close together. But even then, even 2022, we weren't near as good as what we're in right now. We're in amazing shape right now for our area. So we have some neighborhoods that we can get in and we can get really dense in, but I'm also like still on the up and coming in this city that we're in now. We've only been here 2 years. My business has only been in this city for 2 years, so there's not a ton of people who know about me yet in this city. And so we're learning, we're growing, and we're trying to get in these neighborhoods. And so hopefully one day in 5 years, then we can say, look, we're only servicing in this neighborhood, this neighborhood, this neighborhood, and this neighborhood, and those are our 4 days of the week. If you're not in these neighborhoods, then we're not going to take you on any longer. That's just not the case right now in my business. I don't think that is for many people. I know there are people that actually have that model, and they run that very efficiently and effectively. Awesome. That is amazing. Like I applaud you. Very proud of you. Everybody can't do that, though. So let's just don't get caught up that. It's possible, but it's not possible for everybody out there. So in 5 years, that's what we would like to be doing, though. So right now, it's like we had to say no and scale down. We scaled down. And when I was looking at the numbers at the beginning of the year, we dropped big time. We dropped probably 25 to 30 customers, maybe more than that. And it was like, holy cow, look at the revenue we're losing. Look, when I sat down in March, and I'm like, okay, spring rush is here, or we're coming out of winter. Money's already tight in winter as it is, and then spring rush is like, okay, this is good. But then I'm like, okay, what are we going to do come October? Because, like, we're scaling down big time. And so we scaled down, and we raised prices. And by saying no, the thing was we still had people calling from that service area. We had people calling pretty consistently, wanting us to come out and do estimates and quotes and do work. And that was just not something that I wanted to continue to do. So we put a hard stop, a hard no on that. And I believe it truly paid off for us in the long run. If you're not doing that in your company, then I believe you're really losing some significant profits, because I know that when I was sitting back and looking at that, I was terrified. I was terrified. I was in year 3 of my business, and I was like, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to make this work? So we did it with a game plan, though. We scaled down, and we said, okay, we're going to focus here, and we're going to get our Google listing in this service area. We're going to get our locations, everything here. When people search us, then we want it to say in this city is where we want to come up, and not in the other city. And so that's what we did. That was a process, getting all that work out. If you've ever had to deal with Google before, you know that it's not the easiest, smoothest process, but we got it all figured out. I was in a networking group this morning, and the lady was saying that they're a big fencing company, pretty new to the scene in this city, and they've got this neighborhood thing dialed in because it's a new construction neighborhood. They're putting up probably 85 to 90% of the fences on these houses in there, and so they've got it locked in. But their Google My Business listing was actually having big time trouble getting it verified. I don't know what the issue was. We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but I heard her saying this morning that they took them like 7 months to get listed on Google, and that's terrible. That's 7 months of your business you'll never get back. There's a lot of revenue you probably lost because you didn't show up on Google the right way. People thought you weren't. People thought you weren't in good shape. Thought you weren't a good company. Because you never know. Like, you can look at Google and think, dang, this person's not on Google, so are they even a legit company? Because everybody's on Google now. And so that's what I was saying. The Google thing is not always easy. Just stick with it, figure it out. You need to be listed on Google. I truly believe that will change your business if you are, because there's a lot of people that search Google. What do I do? I was looking for sod today. My local suppliers that we normally get from is out. And so what did I do? I got on Google and I said, sod farms near me. And that's what everybody looks up. So you want to be that, whether it be lawn maintenance or landscapes or whatever your company is doing, hardscapes, then you want to be the first on those lists of hardscapes near me, lawn care near me. And make sure that you have keywords in your, I'm not going to, SEO and all that. I don't understand SEO and all that. I hire that out. I'll just be totally honest. I do know that the little bit that I know, at least in the past, you want to have words and stuff in your ads or your articles. It was perfect if you put it in your business description of like, hey, we're a lawn like my company's Growing Green Landscapes, but then in the description put, we are a lawn maintenance company. We love doing maintenance here in Trustful. We want to make your lawn beautiful. You get those words in there, and then when people search lawn maintenance, then that comes up. Because most of the time, when we started on Google at least, it was the case of if you put lawn maintenance in, we didn't come up because there's not lawn maintenance in our name. It's Growing Green Landscapes. And so if you put up a landscaping company near me, then me and our nursery is actually, it's a landscape. It's Keith's Landscape Co. And so we're right down the road from each other. So when you put in landscape company near me, both of our names come up, but not lawn maintenance. So Anyway, I don't even know how I got off on that. I was talking about the Google thing, but by saying no, we scaled down. We got all of our stuff on Google figured out, and now we're listed in this city. So now when people call from this, now when people call, literally, like, I don't even know how it all works. I think it's just like you do more, you get known for doing more of the work you do more of, however that saying goes.
We're excited to announce that the Launchpreneur Academy Live 2022 event replay is now available exclusively at launchpreneuracademy.com. I'm Mr. Producer, and if you were unable to make it to our annual live event in Novi, Michigan this past November, we've got you covered. Get instant access to the live speeches and keynotes from this amazing event and take in tons of knowledge and information from some of the biggest leaders and business owners in the green industry. Hear insights from Mark Bradley, Troy Clogg, Paver Pete, James Mansky, and so many others. These 9 speeches are guaranteed to motivate, educate, and inspire you to elevate your game. Start listening now to the Launchpreneur Academy Live 2022 event replay at launchpreneuracademy.com, and we'll leave a link for you in the show description.
I think you get known more for the areas you work in. Like, we have all of our calls that are coming in this time of year are all coming from Trussville, all right here at home. And it's like, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is the first year where that's actually happened. Even last year in 2022, because we were carrying over from 21, we still had people from the outlying cities that we didn't want to be working in. Those calls were still coming in, and we were still having to say no. We were still having to turn down, and that's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to say no, but at the same time, I want to see profits stay in my bank account at the end of the day. So that was just what was necessary. But we are now getting all of our calls are coming from this, like the city that we're in now, and it's amazing. It's like I almost don't even have to ask. Like when I ask where do you live, they say Trussville. I'm like, oh, it's great. Like it's pretty much common now. Like pretty much everybody that calls, that's where they're coming from. They don't really say anything different. If they do say something different, I'm to the point now where I'm like, we don't really service that area. I'll have somebody here that I can recommend you to, but we don't go out there anymore. So be it. And so I would just say that you can really grow your business with no. Just the 2 letters, 1 word, no. It's that simple. Say no to new service, to that service area that you want to be in. And I tell you what will really kill your business faster than anything, I believe. I shouldn't say that. That's a very broad statement. It's not going to kill your business faster than anything. It will end up harming your business long run. In the long run, you won't see profits stay in your bank account, because I've done this. In year 2 of my business, year 1, 2, 3, I think it was, we did it for 3 years, I think. Maybe it was 2 years. We had a yard that was in a very nice neighborhood, but it was 35 minutes from, it was about 30 minutes from our normal route, maybe 20. It was 20 minutes from our normal, like where our last house on that route stopped, but it was 35 to 40 minutes from my actual shop where we left from. And so we had 1 yard. It was a super nice neighborhood. And that was at the point of business where I was like, oh, man, we need to get in this neighborhood. There's some big houses in here. There's a lot of money in here. If we take on this yard, it'll be worth it. We'll get the yard. Do you think we ever got a yard in that neighborhood? No way. We went out there for 2 years, never got a single yard in that neighborhood. And so we lost so much time and money by driving the extra 20 minutes one way to do 1 yard and then drive 20 minutes back to get back in our route. It was not worth it. And that's something that we have had a few customers and referrals from other people that we know come in this year. And one of them was 20, 25 minutes outside of our route. And it's like, I know the neighborhood that it's in. It isn't a really good neighborhood, but I'm like, it's just not worth it to me anymore. We're not looking to scale into a larger service area at the moment. We're looking to, even if I add another crew, I want us to stay here right close to home. Like I don't want to get to the point where we're big enough to where we're going to be covering different territories of our area, like covering 30 plus miles. Like that's not something that I'm looking to do. We already have to drive probably about 20 miles from end to end of our route right now, just because that's just the way our landscape is here. It's not a bunch of like city roads and stuff. It's winding roads and hills and things like that. So it just, the miles add up. But anyway, saying no to that one customer in that super nice neighborhood that you want to get in, that's very crucial, I believe. I believe that you need to be doing that like yesterday, and I know you want to. I know it's tempting. I know you're like, if it's in your service area, then it's different. Or maybe it's like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes outside of your service area, and it's a neighborhood you really do want to get in. And it's like, okay, this could be, then yes. But don't be going 20, 25, 30 minutes out of your way, Because also something that I wasn't factoring in at that time when I was doing that was I had 2 guys with me. So it was me and 2 guys driving 20 minutes one way. You do the math on that. That's 1 man hour. That's 60 minutes. 1 man hour sitting in the truck going there. We'd spend 35 minutes on the lot, on the lawn. So that's another man hour plus and 1.25, something like that. 1.15, I don't know. Whatever the math on that is, that we were spending on that yard to make, I think, $70, $60, something like that. Maybe it was 50, I don't know. But then we also had a 20-minute drive back, so another man hour. We were in this for 3.25 man hours is what we're going out there for. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I look back on that, I'm like, I was so stupid. But it was really, I was so young. I was so uneducated. I didn't know. And that's why you need to listen to this podcast, to other podcasts. Like, if you take nothing else from me, take that. Even if you like hate the show, it's like, okay, this is boring. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about. I do know that one thing. I do know that if you take on a yard and you're driving and you have 3.5 man hours in it and you're doing it for $50, you're losing money. Your business will fail if you do that long term. So please do not let that happen. Take this advice and just run with it. Implement that into your business early on. Because there's guys out there that are still learning and growing. Because guess what? I hope you are. I'm still learning and growing. But I am at a point now where I'm at least past that stage. I'm past that stage of still figuring that out. But there's a lot of you out there that are still in that stage. That's beautiful. I hope, you know what? That stage was year 2 for me. I hope that stage is 3 months for you. Like 3 months in business. I hope it's your first month in business. Maybe even better, you're listening to this and you haven't even started your company yet, and you already know this stuff. So you don't go into it losing money. Because we lost so much money over the years doing crap like this, and I don't want it to happen to you. It's that simple. It's not anything profound. We don't talk profound statements on this show. I just come to you and say, look, this is what we're doing. This is what we've done. This is what cost us money, and this is what's made us money. This is what's grown our team, and this is what's hurt our team. These things, these principles are things that I hope you can take and run with, because if you can't take it from me, take it from somebody else. Like, I don't care who you take it from. Just get with somebody in our industry. Follow somebody. They don't even have to have a big Instagram following or a big social media or a podcast or whatever. Get with a local mentor near you and say, look, hey, what have you done to grow your business? How have you done this? Would you recommend taking on this customer? How do you handle this situation? When you do that stuff, that's how you grow your company. It's not by just adding more yards. It's by building your community around you. And you have to do that. And saying no is actually a huge step in that process. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, saying no is massive. If you don't learn how to say no now in the beginning, you're going to be saying yes forever, and you're going to turn into people's yes man, and then you're really not going to make any money. And money isn't everything. Money doesn't run my life. But when I'm running a business, I want it to be profitable. And early on, I didn't know how to be profitable the right way. I was doing a lot of work for not a lot of reward. If you're going to be doing the work that we're doing, it's very hard. It's very, very labor intensive. Spring Rush is kicking my butt. I'm getting back into the field. I'm like, man, this is tough. Let's do this. It's kind of a challenge. It's like, hey, I've got to pick it up. I've got to step up the pace. But it's still at the same time, like, you got to get rewarded for that. Your employees need to be compensated for that. We talked about that. You need to treat them the right way. You need to gift them. You need to bonus them. You need to do these things to help them and make them a better employee, and you need to be a better employer. So all these steps along the way, please just take one little piece of advice. Don't take on that one customer. Don't spend 3.5 man hours for $50. Right now, if I was doing that in my company, it would cost that customer $225 to do that line because I had 3 man hours in it. And we're at $75 a man hour right now. That's insane. $225 is what they should have been charging. Now, is the customer ever going to pay that? No way. What is the solution? They need to find a good company near them. It's just that, like, you just can't make that math work for both of you. If they want you that bad and they're going to pay you $225, hey, make the drive out there. But not many people are going to do that. I don't know anybody that's going to do that. So make the right decisions in your business. Please learn to say no now. If you don't learn to say no now, you're going to say yes forever. You're going to end up losing money in the long run, and you're going to end up getting hurt down the road. So we don't want to see anybody do that here on the show. I just want to help you and help you grow. So please just grow with no. That's as simple as I can put it. Nothing profound, nothing life-changing. Just put no in your business. Put no in your vets when you're vetting your customers. Be able to say no, and say no confidently. Don't say no hesitantly. When I was doing this, when I was first implementing these things, no was hard for me to say. When somebody asked me, "Do you still service this area, or can you do this?" Then it's like, I want to say yes. I don't want to tell them no. Just say no. And I tell you, when you really need to say no, we'll wrap the show up after this. when you really need to say no is when you say, yeah, it's going to be $275, and somebody says, can you do it for $230 or $240 or even $250? No. No way. Can't do it. I'm sorry. Can't happen. We just did that. We just had a customer that we raised our rate on, and it was a great customer. It's a customer we've had for 3 years. He loved our work. He always talked like, your work is great. I don't want anybody else touching my yard. I want y'all to handle it. Y'all are the best. Awesome. We love that. I love hearing that. I love making our customers happy. But guess what it really comes down to? Did he really like us that much? Because I raised his rate on $15 and he canceled the next day. I'm not going back and forth with him over it. I'm not saying no. That is by saying, did I tell him no? No, I didn't tell him no because he didn't ask me for a discount. But in essence, I said no. I said, no, I'm not doing this for this rate anymore. I'm not making the money that I should be on it. We're raising it. And he said, well, I can't do it for that. Good day. And that was that. Your customers aren't that loyal to you. They're not as loyal as you think they are. 2 customers that he was one of them. I had one customer I was like, she'll never drop me, ever. Nothing will happen. She'll be dead in the grave before she drops me. Nephew comes along. Nephew starts cutting the grass. There you go. Drops me. Done. I don't hold any malice or anything against her, but that was one I was like, no way. Nothing will ever happen. So learn to say no in your business. Don't do things for less than what you should be. Charge the right rates. Raise your rates. Raise your rates. Raise your rates. Raise your rates every single year. This is the 3rd year doing it in my business. Okay, you need to do it. It needs to happen. You have to. I had one customer. He was the one customer that canceled because I raised my rates this year. Everybody across the board got some type of rate increase. They're not all the same. We didn't do a flat percentage because our yards are so big. So we can't do a 5% increase on a $50 yard and then a 5% increase on a $450 yard. That really adds up. And so we got to go case by case scenario. What does our time look like on the property, things like that. But we had one customer say no. One customer. And he was even on the one that said no was really a yard that I didn't want to be doing anyway. He was on the outlier of our route. Okay? So say no in your business. Grow your business with no. I really believe you can grow your company this year. Thanks for sticking with us through the show this week. I know that we didn't have any crazy inspiring guests on. We love having these interviews. We're going to continue to have guest interviews. I love getting on with them. But these are 2 real episodes that I'm pretty passionate about. And it's like I said, it's not life-changing. I'm not going to offer you life-changing content. I'm going to offer you relatable, real-life advice that I'm working on every single day in my business, and I believe other people out there can relate to it, and that's what we're looking to do. So I hope it helps you. I hope it can change your business. I really believe some of this stuff can because it's changed mine. I'm just telling you things that personally have worked for me. It's not going to work for everybody across the board, but I hope you can take a few pieces of this and say, yeah, this does work. I can implement this in my company. We can do this. We can change this. We can raise customers. We can turn this, get rid of this route, whatever it may be. I hope it helps. It's that simple. So thank you all for listening. It really means the world to me that y'all listen and tune in every week. The show's growing at a great pace. We've been slow and steady the past 2 years. Starting to pick it up. I love it. We're picking up steam. Share the show. It means the world when y'all share the show on Instagram. It's awesome. When I look and see, oh man, the people are listening. They're tuning in. They like the content. They want their followers to see the content. That's what means the most to me. When we get out there and grow the community, that is what it's about. That is what this whole show is about. That's what my purpose for doing this is. So I want to continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. And without you, we couldn't do it. So I just want to say a big, huge thank you. And thank you to Brian and Launchpreneur Academy for partnering with us today to make this show possible. It means the world that we get to have him come alongside of us and partner with one of the big names in our industry to continue bringing you the best content that we can. Stay tuned for some great guest interviews. We're going to have a good Marriage Monday on Monday. Cannot look forward to this season anymore. It's going to be a great year ahead. We got Together in the Trades coming up. It's just now like 2 months away, I think. Let's see, May, June, July, 3 months, 3.5 months away maybe. But we're rock and rolling. I think tickets are almost close to sold out. Cannot wait to get there. Me and Savannah are getting the pleasure to speak this year. And so hopefully you can come join us. And I think we literally have maybe 6 tickets left, 6 or 8. That was what I last heard. It could be sold out by now. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for tuning in. And we look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.